Intangible culture, the songs, music, and untouchable aspects of the culture that make it unique and give it its flavor. The UN calls intangible culture human treasures. They are irreplaceable, and once they are lost, the culture and the people are lost forever. As modern culture sweeps across the globe, entire populations are at risk. Their cultural values, their intangible aspects of their culture, their songs, their dances, their prayers, their ways of being together, are seriously at risk of being lost forever. One of the biggest aspects of what's happening around the world as our super fast-paced, Americanized way of being is being adopted by so many other cultures is the breakdown of community and culture. At the heart of culture is an understanding of life that can't be replaced by another culture. One of the first things that kind of a culture will do when it goes to overtake another one is take away the inherent value of its belief systems, its music, its style of dress, and try to sort of make everyone look like us. And this is becoming a huge issue around the world. I've spent many of the last years of the last decade or so traveling the world, getting to experience these cultures firsthand, and it's changed my life. And when I came back, I started to study what was happening because of this personal story that I'll tell you after this. But the Union of International Associates says that the breakdown of culture and community is one of the most pressing and significant global problems of all times. The impacts of losing your cultural heritage and getting disconnected from your community are huge. In fact, many of those impacts aren't even fully understood or known, but they include depression. How many people in here have ever experienced that? Mental disease, which is absolutely on the rise in this country and in many of the affected countries, and I say affected because I do see it as somewhat of a dis-ease that comes into a country. And the lack of community. How many people here have ever felt a lack of community or isolated in your life? These are relatively new phenomena. It looks like this is the old version, but it's okay, we'll run with it. The new version had a little different sides. So we may go a little over. But for me, the personal reason that I became so interested in helping to at least raise awareness, and really I'm a writer, I'm an artist, I'm a drummer. I'm just one little woman in the world with a big vision and a dream. And is that I've suffered a lot of these things too, depression and feeling like I didn't have a strong enough community or a very strong family unit. And many of my friends have, and I've spent a lot of time counseling and working with people in these kinds of situations. And this epidemic is affecting people at younger and younger ages. Now we have children, young people who are having breakdowns at ages that are ridiculous. The stress, the disconnection, because it trickles down, right? So for me, it's become a lifestyle approach of how do we have events like this where we come together to share these visions, to co-create what we're doing, but also to take a step back. Technology, with all of its wonderful, amazing qualities, has also disconnected us. There was an article written not too long ago about how since Facebook, people are feeling more depressed and disconnected than ever. You have thousands and millions of people living together in very close proximity, and most of them don't know their neighbors. Most of them are afraid to even speak to the people they live near or around. So my question and my vision is, how do we begin to change that? And it starts with each one of us. It starts with us having events, talking to people, going out, seeing our neighbors, making sure that we know the people that live around us. When I first moved to Miami from Boulder, Colorado about a year and a half ago, people didn't understand me because I went and knocked on everyone's door and said, hey, I'm Cheri, I'm here, and I want to know my neighbors. So Return to the Roots is the name of my movement. I consider it a re-evolution, actually. And it's about getting back to the basics, really getting back to what makes us human. These little screens that we're constantly staring at, that's not real connection. It takes the place of it, and a lot of times it leaves us feeling more isolated, more alone than ever, because all we're doing is here, and out here is life happening. So the objectives of Return to the Roots, to inspire remembrance of the value of community, the arts, and the richness of cultural heritage through a series of documentary videos, educational programs, cultural exchange, and community building projects. And I think it's finish it, but honoring the past, cultivating the future. We can't get rid of technology, it's here. But how do we integrate these two worlds and honor them both and say what these ancient traditions and old cultures have to teach us is far beyond what technology can ever touch, because it's very, very intangible. It's in the heart and soul. When we connect with a world of music and song through the arts, through visual arts as well. I'm a drummer and a dancer, so that's kind of my world especially. But there's a whole language, a whole understanding that I always say those who play together stay together. And when you've had a bonding experience through music or song or poetry or art, you tend to want to stay connected to those people that you had that experience with, right? To a joyful experience. So Return to the Roots is about finding our way home again as human beings on planet Earth. It's about a lot of the stuff that you all are doing, creating these kind of places where people can have community, growing food together, remembering to give our children quality time together, preserving the old and integrating the new, being aware that one can't replace the other. And I do a lot of work, especially with Cuba, and I work with a cultural center here called Barrio Workshop, and I hope that you all will come and visit us. We have a beautiful 2,000 square foot center with an outside patio, great for events. Ashley and I are talking about doing some events together. Come and visit me there at Barrio. That's kind of become my hub. I've been here about a year and a half, and I'm really just getting started here. It's been a little bit of a rocky start in Miami. But I would love to collaborate with more of you. As a drummer, I could bring a lot of juice and soft plug. But more than that, it's about this movement that we're all experiencing together of really connecting at the heart and getting away from the screen and back into human connection. So thank you so much. I'm really honored.